Hello, everybody, and welcome to our expert guest caregiver Q&A on how to thrive instead of just survive as a caregiver. While we're waiting on Tamika to join us, I want to share with you that coming up in just under 2 weeks, starting on September 17th, we are opening our big free workshop, How to Stop the Four Most Common Challenging Dementia Behaviors, on Zoom. We've done this, not this particular workshop, but a lot of workshops, and it's been incredible. We have a lot of folks that come, and we have a lot of great community. A lot of folks get a ton of wins, as well as we have some demonstrations as well. So it's going to be an incredible time. And let's see. I don't see her yet. So if you are dealing with a challenging dementia behavior that has been really giving you a hard time, like the phrase, I want to go home, or trying to get your person to shower, or anger, or a number of things I get in my DMs or in my comments all the time, definitely come. We'd absolutely love to have you. And hopefully she'll be joining us momentarily. So in the meantime, if you have your own questions about challenging dementia behaviors, feel free to put them in the chat, and also share where you're streaming from. All right, I see Tamika. Okay.
Hi. Let me pull this up a tad. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are
I-
you?
I'm good too.
All
See,
right.
my tripod is not trying to act right, so we just gonna have a cut off head. It's okay.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Oh man, I'm very
Absolutely.
excited. I've been following you for a little bit, and I first off, I've as another plant-based person, I enjoy that content as well.
Thank you. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah. So uh, I'm definitely very excited to hear about your journey, and to hear about, honestly, we know the content creator life, obviously you don't show everything, but it's like how it looks like you're taking care of your mom and thriving. Uh, so anyways, for those of us who don't know you, introduce yourself, and so we
Sure.
can so the rest of us can get to know you.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, first of all. I've also been following you too. So I am plant-based Tamika on social media. I actually came to this lifestyle in front of you right now based off of me trying to cure myself of asthma through a plant-based diet. I watched What the Health in 2017, and I was like, you know what? We're gonna try this. We're gonna see what it can do. And before 30 days, because I had initially said I'm gonna do 30 days. Before doing 30 days, I had, the asthma was completely gone. It had cured itself based off of just taking out the meat and the dairy and all the animal products. So fast forward to a few years later, I just share the foods that I love and enjoy, from restaurants, my own easy recipes and things like that, things that I would feed my mom that she loved. And it's so funny because myself, I'm bona fide. I used to say, and my mother too, she used to say, I don't like vegetables. Like, and now to be living this lifestyle is just so hilarious to me. So it's really just like never say never about certain things, because you just don't know how you're gonna mature, grow, what information you're gonna get exposed to and whatnot.
Absolutely. And it's definitely the last guest I had on, we were talking about how as caregivers we can avoid getting dementia ourselves. And
Oh,
honestly, that's a fabulous way to do that as well.
yes. So that's something that my sister and I talk about a lot, because honestly, that's a big fear for us. Because, you're like, is this hereditary? But both of us have done like our own research and whatnot about, what causes dementia. And to my understanding, by no means am I saying I know exactly where it comes from, but I
Sure.
believe it comes from like not dealing with your mental health issues in a healthy way. It could come from alcoholism, it could come from diet, obviously, things like that. And I know that there are certain ways that you can help yourself when you first start seeing those signs, because to me that was the scariest sign, at least for my mom. Seeing her say like, I know something is not right, I don't know exactly what it is. Like, to me that's the most heartbreaking part. But from what I've been seeing with my research, it's really like avoiding refined and processed sugars, and obviously like focusing on, brain food, which is all plant food, really, like blueberries, pecans, walnuts, all that kind of stuff. um but yeah, that's a
Yeah,
scary idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, share with us a little bit how you started caregiving for your mom and how
Yes.
that journey got going.
Yes. So my mom, she dealt, and I feel like one day I have to write a book about this, because it's just such an emotional journey, like for real, like such a tumultuous journey. All the people that are close to me, I really am grateful for them, because many times I've called and cried and like asking for help, asking for advice, that sort of thing. But ultimately, I feel like God was with me every step of the way of this caregiving journey, like just truly, because the way it panned out, the way that everything worked out, there is nothing else but God. So basically, my mom, she ended up in the hospital, and there was there was like, what's the word I'm looking for? They asked her questions, like a evaluation. They asked her questions. My mommy didn't know what year it was. She didn't know who the president was, things like that. And we knew things were going left. Her paranoia was at an all-time high. She wasn't able to like take care of herself, like financially and things like that. Like, she had the money, but she just lost the ability to, pay her bills on time and things like that. So we tried to like ask my mom and ask her and say, hey mommy, can you let us, take over for you with this or whatever it may be, just trying to approach it in a way that it would be her idea when it's really our idea, like, let us help you. um and my mom, she's always been the kind of person that is just like, nope, I don't need anybody's help, that type of thing. So it was a big, big fight with that. Once she got evaluated and the doctor said, that in that moment when she was in the hospital for something completely different, that's when they told us, your mom actually has, an advanced version of dementia. And we knew something was wrong, but the word advanced to me, that was jarring.
Mm,
Um, because like I don't know how they decipher advanced from, beginning stages based off of her answering some questions and things like that. But that was the beginning, and that was pre-COVID.
mm.
So 7-8 years ago.
Wow.
Yes. And I do want to preface this by saying my mommy is in memory care now,
Okay.
and that came from me caregiving for her. My sister, she's in Arizona, I'm in Chicago. Every 6 months we would trade. We both, have families, careers, all that type of thing. And, caregiving is a full-time job, like,
Yeah.
period. So 100%. As much as like loved doing it, like, my mommy stayed in this room right across from me, and I would wake up every morning and be like, good morning, mommy. And then she would be like, hi, mom. So she calls me mom, even though, which is like so bittersweet to me, because it shows that she felt loved, cared for, happy, all that kind of stuff. But it's like, oh, I miss, having, my mom. Like, though, that role reversal is really, it can be really a slap in the face,
Sure.
especially when you kind of are like yearning that motherly advice or, energy or whatever. I felt like I was so blessed because I was able to see my mom for who she truly, truly is as a kid, because essentially that's where her mindset is. So she has
Sure.
the dolls, she calls me mommy, and she is the most lively one in the memory care. And I'll tell you how I came to that. I don't even want to say decision, because I just feel like, again, Krista, like, it's just, God led me to this. But
Sure.
I remember there had been multiple times where I was just so fearful of my mom's safety. We live in a multi-level home. my biggest fear is like if my mom falls and she can't dance anymore, if she can't, if she has an issue with walking, that's my biggest fear. So I was very concerned about the stairs and just her wandering. So I ended up getting something for under her bed to where it's like you step out of the bed and immediately I can hear like a ding dong. So it plays by my bed. So I would sprint in the middle of the night many a nights because I would hear the
Mm,
ding dong.
sure.
So I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, because you just don't know where her mind is. Sometimes she's sleepwalking and things like that. And then another time, my mom actually saw a man smoking outside of the house.
Oh,
And it
wow.
immediately took her to when she used to smoke cigarettes. And she rolled up Kleenex paper, and went and turned on the stove. And my mommy wears wigs now. Now, that's highly flammable. She went down to light that
Oh,
cigarette. That
yeah.
cigarette, honey, I lost it. And
Ooh.
it happened back to back twice. And I know that there are certain things that I can do to, like kind of proof the house. But I was mindful of that. And then some other things happen, and then like I lost my cool. Caregivers, that's what we gonna do.
Mm.
We be cool 90% of the time, but sometimes that disease will really tap dance on your nerves. Even as much as you try to be the most patient person in the world. And then I just remember after being so like on edge about like feeling like it, this was the honest to God truth. Am I the best person to care for her? Like, am I the best person? And I had to ask myself that. And ultimately, I just told God, I said, okay, God, I'm ready for help. That's all I
Mm.
said was like, I'm ready for help. I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know if that means somebody can come in the house and help me. I didn't know if that means, whatever it means, whatever it meant. So it turns out that there is a great place that is not too far from my house where the staff, like, they love my mom. I'm telling you, like, every time I go in every day, just about every day, like 5 days a week, and they're like, we see you the most and your mom is the most lively. Like, I'm always checking on her, we're always dancing, we're always listening to music, we're always going for rides, that sort of thing. So I just want people on here to know that just because you may or may not be the 100% of the time person with your loved one, you are still a caregiver. That's something that it took me a minute to realize, like, hey, I'm still scheduling her doctor's appointment, I'm still advocating for her, I'm still with her a big chunk of the time. I'm just making sure that there's actual safety measurements and she's in a flat surface that people are able to watch her, like staff is able to watch her. Because, like, again, if I'm trying to do something, I turned around and it would be something going on and I'm like, how did I miss this type of thing? So
100%. And I just want to
yeah.
validate the choice that you made, because there's so many folks, and I see it in the chat here too, saying, Love Unique saying, I'm emotionally drained and how can I
Oh,
get my life back? And those are
yeah.
all very real things,
It so is. You
so
feel so
real. But
isolated. And then
yes,
it's like it's so easy to like take things extra personally when you're a caregiver and you didn't get invited to the thing,
yeah,
or you missed the thing, or whatever it may be, or I can't go on the trip because
there's
like
no one
a
to
family
watch
trip.
them.
Yeah, it's like this isn't the best scene for my mommy, so I'm sorry, but y'all gonna have to go without me because like I don't know what to do in this moment. So my sister and I developed like a plan to just like look up respite. At first we were just gonna do respite,
Mm,
like just give us a weekend so we can go be sisters and go live life. And then it turned out that there was a place that had memory care, and I'm telling you, I had no idea it even existed, and it was close to me. So I had already went and looked at other places, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So it was truly what I feel like is something that I was blessed with when I decided to take my ego out of the decision, and instead of being like, I have to be the one to care for her, it has to be me or things like that, just to say, okay, where's my mommy gonna be
yeah,
safe,
absolutely.
and how am I gonna have that balance too?
And I love that you see her all the time, because I think that's what a lot of people don't get, is they feel like it's all or nothing. Like you do everything or you do nothing. Real you can do both, and quite frankly, as they
Yeah,
go through the disease, you have to have other people to physically help you. Like
yeah,
you have to. it's interesting, and maybe you have a different perspective on this, but it's watching someone go through dementia, like Alzheimer's specifically, is a kind of a lot like watching someone go through the developmental stages in reverse. Like, so like
Yeah.
watching like a newborn baby, toddler, kid, teenager, adult. It's almost like you're watching it go in reverse.
Yeah.
Uh, so while like, yeah, it's kind of a weird loaded question with like behaviors too, since that's my niche is
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the challenges that you'll face that a lot of folks don't expect is that like people are just like, oh my God, or the behavior is going to get worse. It's like, no, they like go in phases,
It
but
gets different.
physic,
It just
yeah,
gets
it
different.
changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just like, physically it gets very difficult towards the end. So it's just
Yeah.
like, it's one of those things where it's like I don't want folks to go into despair, just like, oh my God, it's always going to be so emotionally hard. It's like it won't always be emotionally hard, but I'm super real with you. Physically, it will get definitely harder.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have that family support, that like in-home aid, that memory care
Yeah.
support, some kind of physical support towards the end, it's just not doable.
Yeah.
So like it's
Krista,
just
that's my
not.
number one fear is like, what is the end? What does that look like? I found myself worrying about it yesterday.
Mm,
Like, day before yesterday, I went to go see my mom. I had a whole breakdown. I was crying uncontrollably. Like,
mm,
this just, it doesn't seem like it's just not fair. And like, just like missing the the mom that you never got, one,
sure.
because it's like I was trying to heal our relationship and then she started to slip
Uh,
away. So
uh,
but it actually started to heal based off of that. So again, I feel like God allowed me to be the one that's caring for her so I can heal my, inner child through that, because, there could have been some resentment there and things like that. But now it's
yeah.
just like, wow, life is something serious, and it's so crazy. Um, but yeah, so I just, like I said, I had my little breakdown, and I wanted others that are in positions like this to see that it's okay to have these moments. I want you to feel seen in these moments, because this is not for the faint of heart. Like, and when you said it won't always be emotional, I identify as a highly sensitive person. Girl, I took the test and everything. I cry all the
Mm,
time. When I'm
mm,
happy, when I'm sad. I got that from my mom. I grew up seeing my mom cry all the time. And I would go in my closet. My mom would be like playing, she'll be dancing, I'll play music for her. I will be having a whole mental breakdown in my in my closet, crying, praying, just like, it's just so crazy. And the blessing in this, disease that's not so great, is that at least my mom has joy. Like, that's the
mm.
only plus that I can see, is she's not tormented. She's very happy, she's very light. And to me, like, I do see other people with dementia that are tormented, and that is so heartbreaking to me.
Yeah,
Like, crying all the time, asking where their mom is, asking where their sister is, things like that. So to me, that's really, really sad to
yeah,
have to see.
yeah. And it's impossible to
Yeah,
predict how
yeah,
your loved one is going to be for sure. But yeah, I mean, truly, it sounds like really the first way that, we can thrive instead of just survive
yeah,
is we got to be okay with getting that help.
yeah,
It's hard.
yeah.
There's a lot of guilt, a lot of fear. Are they going to take as good of care of them as
Yep.
I'm going to do? And quite frankly, that's just you have to reach out, and while definitely financially it can
Hmm.
feel like an impossible journey,
Yeah.
like basically cliff notes of walking the impossible journey if there's like no money available is like even
Wow.
if they have a tiny tiny amount, they barely don't qualify for Medicaid, go to a lawyer,
Hmm.
get power of attorney.
Yeah.
And like I'm sure you've walked this path as well.
Yeah. That's
The legal,
that's what
all that type
happened.
of stuff in order to get that. So I'm curious, since we're talking about that, did you,
Hmm.
in order to get her into memory care, did you guys
Hmm.
have funds, or did you guys look into Medicaid? How did that work?
We had funds, but it wasn't enough funds to like sustain, like, because at first I was looking at like a place that was like, I think it was like starting at 5,000 a month. I was
Oh
like, I'm
yeah.
doing okay, but
Oh, and that's a
That
low
on
end
top
too.
of mortgage, on top of car note, on top of student loans, on top of everything. I don't know.
Sure.
But I was trying to figure it out. I was like, you know what? If it's meant to be, God gonna deliver that coin every month. He will. So then I ended up doing a Google search. And I don't know how this came about because I swear it didn't come about before. So I
Hmm.
went and I looked at the place and I was comfortable with it. And my mom seemed happy. And Krista, when I walked in, when we moved her in, we got her place looking all nice. And after the first day, I went to go check on her. And she was so like happy, adjusted. They were so sweet to her. And it's not an act. It's like, because I pop in on them like all different times. You're not going to know when I'm coming because it may be 8 a.m., it may be 6:30 when she's going down. It could be any time, and they collect pictures and videos of her and show me and send me, and like she's always dancing and stuff. When I tell you that first day when I left out, I had such a weight lifted off me. I just started bawling as soon, like I couldn't even get out of the doors before I just started bawling because it was just like gratitude that she like was somewhere that she was comfortable, because I was really really fearful that, just like you were saying with the guilt, I was like, what if she hates it
Yeah.
here? Like what am I gonna do? Like what if she starts fighting? Like, where are you going, lady? Like, who knows? Mommy, where are you going? Like, I don't know what's happening. But it was just the smoothest transition. So I'm
Yeah, that's
so
amazing.
blessed. Girl.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like for anybody else who maybe, because I think where a lot of us find ourselves even financially
Mhm.
is that uh like either you and or them maybe have a little bit of money where you don't qualify for Medicaid, but
Yeah.
not nearly enough to afford it.
Yeah,
Truly,
it's
what's
such
there,
a
it's
bad place.
that's
Yeah.
awful. And that's most people, and it's terrible. But I
Mhm.
mean, really, how you overcome it is getting that power of attorney, investing that money in a lawyer and a
Mhm.
good lawyer.
Yeah.
um, that's so important to get that paperwork right.
Mhm.
You spend down
Yeah.
on help because that counts towards Medicaid. Then that's
Yeah.
how you qualify for Medicaid.
Yep.
So I'd say if you have
That
little
was
to no
such a
money,
that was such a
that's your
task.
way. That is your way into into getting some help. Because quite
Yeah.
frankly, it is impossible to thrive doing it 100% by yourself. It is
Yeah,
impossible.
unless you're wealthy or unless,
100%.
you have a big family who everybody is pitching in, it does feel like that because I swear my heart goes out to people that are doing it by themselves. I like so much of my community is like I'm by myself. So much of my community is like it's me by myself and I care for my mom and my dad or something like that or my auntie and my, dad or whatever. It's just like wow, it's really something, but I definitely it's so much work just applying for the Medicaid and stuff.
Yeah.
And I would do that with my mom sitting right by me. And as much as you try to tell them like, hey, I'm the power of attorney, I'm her guardian, her legal guardian. She has dementia. They still asking for her to sign stuff. I'm like, she can't sign. Like she's disabled. Like you don't understand. So there still is a
Yeah.
lot
There's
of things that need to happen, with on the state level and on the federal
oh,
level. So
100%. Oh, 100%. And it's
yeah.
just, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, even if your community looks like, let's say you have, like, I've seen a video you did with your sister. Your sister is incredible when it comes to being your teammate in this, but
Yeah.
so many don't have that.
Yeah.
In a real way, friends, family, people that don't even live nearby you, they can
Hmm.
help you with those Medicaid applications. They can make
That's
those
so
phone
true.
calls for you.
Hmm.
That's how your community can rally around you to help you get to that next point so that you don't feel like I'm just completely by myself in
Right.
this. So, my
Yeah.
goodness.
I would
Woo,
ask
we
a
were getting
friend.
a lot of comments.
Yeah. I
Just
tried
to add,
I tried to look,
yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah.
so what now, babes? I'm not sure what you mean by memory apps. Definitely quantify that, um, for sure. So I know we covered a lot of the memory care
Hmm.
part of your journey as well. So now that you've transitioned mom into memory care and you are now it kind of switched more into administrative role, then like because that's a big misnomer that people think, oh, if, once I place in memory care, whew, my life will go back to how it was before I was a caregiver. I'm like, oh no, that's not how it works at
No,
all.
no. And I still like I'm the type of person that if I'm with her and if I see the staff is busy, I'm still gonna change my mom. I'm still gonna, put an outfit on if she, has made a spill or something. I gotta take care of my little sis, the baby that my mommy be holding. I'm telling you, I like wash her clothes, I buy her outfits. Like we're still like doing all the things. I think that it's so important because is even the best facilities are still gonna fall short.
Yeah,
They're gonna fall short with what it is that I would do for my mom normally. So I just again you have to always be there and advocate for them. Like dental care is so huge. So I've been having to, get a dentist, a mobile dentist on site. And we're
yeah.
trying to get my mom some partials now. And I feel like it's the biggest deal. And I'm like, why is this so hard? Like getting these x rays and, all this stuff. But yeah, like every different part of her care. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I saw her clarify like building like memory building apps. So I would say, anything helps as far as I know we were talking about at the beginning of our stream how diet plays a huge role, your stress plays a
Mhm.
huge role in lowering your risk of dementia and Alzheimer's, exercise. Like I know your mom loves to
Yeah.
dance. So all that stuff has an impact on both like preventing dementia, but and
Mhm.
also helping symptoms once you already have it.
Yeah.
So the apps can certainly be helpful. Maybe when they're in the early stages, for sure, because technology could be very tricky for middle and certainly late stage. But um, I'd be weary of any claim. Like I would say, anytime you hear a claim that's like, "We're going to cure this. It's going to be amazing. Just give us thousands and thousands of dollars." Yeah, I'd be weary of that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's
Oh,
mm,
something I did want to mention is like
yeah, yeah.
part of the advocacy is making sure that we're talking to the director of nursing on a minimum of a quarterly basis.
Mm.
So my sister and I, like she's coming into town. My mommy's turning 80 next week. I'm
Oh
so
my goodness,
excited.
she looks beautiful. Oh, I would have
Girl,
never
my
guessed.
mommy has been fine. First of all, like she just has, like she's always been that girl. So like this is where the
I
red
love
lips
it.
come from. This
Ooh.
like I get all my fashion and beauty from her, like the beauty regimen, should I say?
Mm.
So we're gonna do a big party, but also I feel like I'm celebrating her turning 80. My siblings that are gonna be here with me are turning 80, but we're not gonna put anything that says happy 80th. Nothing like that because my mom would like every time we would go to the doctor, they'll ask me like how old are you or how old is your mom, and I'll be like she's 77 years old. Like I had to say a real low because as soon as she heard me, she's like what like what you talking about? Like I'm not that age, so I don't want her to get flustered, like confused, irritated, anything like that. So we're just gonna say happy birthday, but it's such a milestone. And yeah, so we're gonna just do a lot of dancing, have her favorite foods. She loves chocolate cake, so we're gonna do her a chocolate cake. I think I'm gonna make her a vegan chocolate cake myself or get it from
Aw.
Whole Foods.
Yeah.
But it'll be chocolate cake nonetheless. But yeah,
Aw.
so yeah, just again going back to the advocating for her part is we make sure that like, hey, what is being done for her? Any concerns we address it head on during that meeting. A lot they won't tell you like, hey, we can have a quarterly meeting. You have to say, hey, we need a quarterly meeting, at a minimum. But I'm always very vocal with all the CNAs, nurses, the manager of nurses, all that. So, like, just basically, like, if they know that you're serious about the care of your loved one, that they'll know that they got to stay on top of everything with them. It's so sad because there's some people that I've never seen their loved ones there, like, ever,
Yeah.
and that breaks
Yeah.
my heart.
And that's so
Yeah,
common.
yeah.
It's so common that that's the case. And granted, I don't want to judge anybody because who
Mhm.
knows what their situations
They
are,
may not
but
have kids. They may
yeah,
not have extended family. They may not, like, who knows? But either way, it's heartbreaking. So,
yeah, absolutely. 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 Everybody deserves that level of support. So now that mom's on her memory care journey at this
Mhm.
point, how do you help yourself now, like now that you have some freed up time? I'm sure that was
Yeah.
like maybe take us in a little bit how you were supporting yourself while mom was living with you,
Mhm.
and how you take care of yourself now that she's in memory care.
Yeah, so when I was caring for my mom full time, I would do a lot more Instagram live so I can feel connected with my audience. I would film a lot more content in the house.
Mm.
Surprisingly, if I would just turn on some music, give my mommy some cards, she could kind of like hang out and, do her thing for about a solid hour. And I really wouldn't have to, deter too much from what it is that I was doing. So I spent more time in the house. So obviously because having my mommy there, but I would like be more intentional about getting us both out of the house, getting fresh air. So when I go see her, I make sure that we're coming outside, getting fresh air, getting some vitamin D. Whether we get in a car and go for a ride and listen to some of her favorite music, or just sitting under a tree, and still listening to her favorite music, because music is really what just immediately lights my mom up. Like, she'll be like this, and then I'll put some music on, and then she's like that. Like, it's so funny. It's like night and day.
Oh.
To now, I'm running around a lot more. Like, it's a lot more, um, just obviously flexibility. I just came back from LA from my vegan show called Kale Cruise
Yeah,
that I do with
I saw you
Friend
met Ty
Human.
of Gertrude, of
Oh my gosh, yes.
Ty
She's my
Lewis.
friend in my head, and I knew she lived in LA. And then also Jacqueline from Mama My
Yeah,
Mom. Like, I
yeah,
told them, like, y'all are my friends in my head, and y'all live in LA, so I need you. Y'all don't know how many times y'all made me cry on your content, and just like how much I appreciate their advocacy and their inspiration. And they both showed up, and we had a time, honey. We had a time. It was
oh,
so cool. Like, I just was so full, so grateful. Like, I know my mom is good. I know my mom is taken care of. I get to see these people that, have inspired me so much, and I still get to like pursue what I want. So, but, I would say the hardest thing about this whole journey, like, is dealing with guilt.
mm,
So, like, I have to understand that my big sister always tells me, she'll be like, but mom would not want you to like put your life on hold. Mom would want you
yeah,
to still chase your dreams. Your mom want this. Mom will want that. And I'm like, you're right, you're right, you're right. So, like, I try to talk myself off of the ledge with that. But yeah, so I do
yeah,
have a lot of flexibility.
yeah, yeah. It's so hard, but man, it's so true. The funny thing is, I was literally telling that to one of my members the other day, who's just, God bless his heart. He's just working so hard to give his mom the best care. And I'm just like, I'm a mother now myself. And it's just like, trust me, I would much rather go into the facility and let my baby girl live her
Yeah.
life and thrive and be her best. Like that's honestly what most of these good moms would want for their kids.
I had to tell, so I'm a step mommy of three. I'm a
Yeah.
bonus mommy of three. And
Yeah.
my youngest, he was like, he didn't realize how hurtful it was at the time, but he was just like, I don't know if I'd be able to care for you like this, but like, I said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I said, if it comes a time where this is the case, I just want you to know I do not have, like, I don't want you to put your life on hold. I would want to I said, just put me in a facility, and it's completely fine with me if it gets to that point.
Sure.
In my head, I'm going to be thriving in my head.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and honestly, you're doing all the things that would ideally help you, uh, hopefully not develop
right.
the disease. Honestly, like having a whole foods based diet is already like a huge win
Yeah,
when
that
it
is a good
comes
win.
to preventing
That was
that.
that was also a
Absolutely.
good selling point for me, like later on in that journey, like, okay, this
Mm.
has to help. This has to be good. So,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Oh, Vita Bella, you're so real for saying that. She
what
said
did she
she
say?
feels guilty. It starts to affect your health. She has to
Mm.
learn how to be selfish, and she doesn't know how. She sleeps 3 hour a night.
Oh
She doesn't know how to shut her
no.
mind off.
Oh my
Yeah, yeah. So
gosh. That's a
You
lot because like that's definitely going to affect your health. You know, you have to
definitely.
have that time to sleep and everything. Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
found myself falling asleep and my mom would just be walking around and I'm like, I'm dead tired and she got all the energy. And I'm like, how does she have all this energy? I'm sitting here fighting for my life.
I
Coffee, like
I know it,
energy.
it defies all logic. It like goes complete opposite of how you think it should
Yeah,
go.
I was
It's
like,
so weird.
why isn't she taking naps? But then I found myself not wanting her to take naps because I wanted her to sleep through the night. Because sundowning, my God, that was
Mm.
a beast. And until so, the first few times that my sister and I were alternating with my mom, she ran me, honey. She was up when she wanted to be up. She was up at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, having conversations, going through clothes in the closet. And I'm like, Lord have mercy, what am I gonna do? Because I cannot do this. Like I cannot live like this. Um, so the next time that mom went with my big sister, Tosh got her on a schedule, then stuck with it for all of the 6 months. And I tell her to this day, if it wasn't for you enforcing that, like I didn't realize just that my mom could actually go to bed at 8 o'clock and wake up at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And she would do it and she did it. And her body got used to it. And we would just give her like a little tiny melatonin just to help her like wind down after dinner. And then she would be like, okay, I'm ready for bed. And it became less of a fight, which was huge. Like I used to not even be able to get my mom in pajamas. She would be like, girl, leave me alone. And I'd be like, please. Like, oh my gosh, it was scary. That was the
Yeah.
beginning of the caregiver's journey. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna survive this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that routine is huge, huge. And
Yeah.
if some people, hey, if your person needs a little bit stronger with sleep medication, you can always talk to their doctor and see about that too. But I
I was
mean, I'm not,
so scared
I
of
took some
that. I was
melatonin
so
too.
scared of that because I was scared she would wake up and be delusional and then like fall or hurt herself. So I was like, the best we gonna do is this melatonin. So it ended up working out, but it also helps like keeping her mind busy throughout the day. So I would like get this little watercolor paint situation on Amazon. And I think I have it in my Amazon store in my profile, like
Oh, cool.
dementia friendly things that I would buy for my mommy and just like, like the little fidget pads and things like that, cards, like a whole bunch of decks of cards, because she would just go through them. Like the cards would just disappear or get flushed down a toilet or something. So a bunch of decks of cards, um, just all different sorts of things that she liked. I even got her like a little book to look through of little doggies, and she just like found pleasure in that. So it's just like keeping her busy. But then ultimately, I was just like, okay, yeah, I definitely need more help because that becomes so much,
Yeah.
keeping somebody else busy all day long.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's like having a child.
Yeah,
Again,
absolutely.
at least in that way, for sure. It's yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So, yeah, definitely get help. Really getting if I think maybe if there's one thing other than maybe diet that's going to help both
Mm-hmm.
you and your person with dementia
Mm-hmm.
is diet and sleep. Getting those two
Yeah.
things right, I think, is like game changer when it comes to you and them thriving. And also for those of us in the chat who have so bravely shared
Mm-hmm.
about how you feel like you've definitely not been thriving. Um,
I can hear that.
Definitely that if both of you aren't winning, then no one's winning.
Yeah.
That's just true. If you were run down, you can't adequately care for them. Like you can't give them your best. Like you just can't. So yeah, I mean, other than the running around, I know you're big into fashion and obviously the plant-based scene. So what are some things you do just for you?
Just for me, I would say, I kind of feel like what it is that I do professionally also feeds me too, though. So my boutique, standout style, even though like it is a lot right now managing that and then plant-based Tamika and everything, but I do love fashion. So like I do still find joy and love in finding fashion, shooting the pictures, things like that. And my garments are actually at a boutique that's maybe like 20 minutes from me, so I kind of get to be a little bit more hands off, just get the good things and then take them to the store, take them to the boutique. um, and then when customers do place an order, I get to just fulfill them right here in my office. I don't know if you can see my little naked mannequin right there, but
Oh, cute. Oh, I
but
love it.
yeah, so I do that. But honestly, even when I was caregiving, I was like, I have to steal some time, even though I'm sleep deprived. Lord, I needed to steal some time so I could like take me like a little walk in the morning. I would sneak out when I know when my mom was well and good on her schedule. I would sneak out and run to the gym sometimes for like a 20-30 minute walk if the weather was bad. And what I would do is I had an app to where it would let me know if she's like again out of the bed.
Mm.
And if she's moving, I had cameras too. They were kind of hidden cameras, but so I had cameras in her room and I could like look at her from my phone. I know it sounds like I would be a creep, but I could actually see if my mommy was up or if she was still sleeping, turning around and stuff like that. So that allowed me to like be maybe 10 minutes from home and still have comfort in knowing that she's still safe. Because even if she did wake up, one thing my mommy will still do is make up her bed as soon as she gets up. So I knew I
Yeah.
had about an extra 5-10 minutes from there. So
Yeah. Yeah. And that type of stuff is so, so important. uh
mhm,
I know we've given the same tips too, where it's just like, look, if you have a person who yells a lot or like makes a lot of
mhm,
noise, random noise,
mhm.
headphones, earplugs,
Yeah,
just to lower that overstimulation, the
that's so
cameras that
true.
you're talking about, like baby monitors, to give you that peace of mind so that you can, like you're saying, leave your house just for get some fresh air for a second. All those small things can mean the difference between like, okay, I can make it another day of this arduous
Girl,
Medicaid process
yes.
versus
Oh my
like, I'm going
gosh.
to have a nervous breakdown if someone doesn't help me right now.
Yeah. I felt like that almost maybe at least 3 or 4 times a week. I felt like I was gonna have a mental breakdown, but there would be so many sweet moments that it would just negate that last situation off of me. Like, she would hug me and just even now, like when I went to go check on her, like I had to change her, and she was just like giving me like the little patting me and on the small of my back, just like because she would still express gratitude for me being there, and I just found that so sweet and so fulfilling. Because I do know that there are people that it's really just a fight all day long. So like I'm very very grateful that we were able to pretty much like heal and just like have the best situation in a not great situation.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I see some folks in the chat talking about sundowning. Was that something you guys struggled with?
Oh, girl, yes,
Okay, what was that like?
yes. So yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Is just like she would be up and like I remember her being in the closet. Like she would go through her entire wardrobe. She would have conversations with her brothers and sisters in her head, and it would be like 2 or 3 in the morning. My husband would be knocked out sleeping good, baby. But I sleep like I'll hear a pin drop, a feather drop. I'll
What
hear it. Like that's how
what
much
is
of a
up
light
with
sleeper. I
what is up with
don't know,
men to be
girl,
able to do
but
that?
it makes
I
me
don't
want to be like,
understand.
no, not in real life. No, you can stay asleep because to be honest, like I didn't want my mommy to wake him up or anybody else. But somebody just asked, what is sundowning? So
Yeah.
sundowning is when your loved one they don't realize that it's time for bed. They don't realize that it's nighttime. And a lot of the times that will happen is like they tend to get really, really busy-bodied in the middle of the night.
Mm.
uh, and I found that the sundowning like dramatically decreased, if not all the way went away, is when we got her on that strict schedule of
Mm-hmm.
okay, bedtime is this time. Again, just like you were saying, it's similar to having a child, but like if that your loved one gives you a fight, just stick with it. Just stick with it, and I'm telling you, eventually is gotta get better.
Yeah. And sometimes honestly what's worked out too is like if they're just like, no, like
Hmm.
just like whatever,
Hmm.
again, it's like going through the developmental stages in reverse. Sometimes they'll be like, look, I don't care what you do in this room.
Girl,
You can do
that's what I
whatever your
just
heart's
said. I
desire
was
is.
like, girl, burn the thing down. I don't care.
We're, we're,
I'm going to bed. Because
we're all staying in our rooms.
after so long, it's like, I'm gonna lose my mind because like you're sleep deprived. You don't understand what's going on. You can't calm them down, and it's no talking. It's no talking it away. So it
No,
really
yeah.
just is like, okay, I'm just know I'm gonna have a day tomorrow because she gonna be tired. But that's the thing is, I would still get her up at her normal time the next day. You messed up my sleep. I'm sorry, mommy, but I gotta mess up your sleep now because we gotta get you back. We gotta get you back on this schedule. So
Yeah. Yeah. And that, yeah, that can definitely be so helpful to folks just so like even like their mind may not be able to keep up with what's going on, but it's almost like their body can like
mhm.
keep up with the routine.
Yeah,
Like it's
yep.
very interesting how that works for sure. So, oh man. Uh yeah. So I guess what piece of advice would you give to caregivers who are just getting going, who are just at the beginning of their journey?
Oof. I would say give yourself grace. There's so much information out there, and I feel like none of it is just collectively in one place. And I know that that's also because every state is different. Everybody has different level of benefits and a different level of resources, but reach out to community. Like community is so big. I like joined Facebook groups. I started listening to like podcasts about dementia. I started reading books about it just to learn about it. um if uh if you're feeling stuck again, just like try to have somebody that can be like a buddy of yours that you can just like, be emotional with, you know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like this is such a scary, sad time to like have those roles switch. So it's like you're dealing with that, and then you're also dealing with what's in front of you. So like I was just saying on my page the other day in that video is like I feel like I'm mourning my mommy, and she's still here and she's
Yeah.
happy, and I'm sitting here
Yeah.
bawling. So be gentle with yourself. Do your best to get your best amount of rest because like the woman who was just talking about how she gets 3 hours of sleep a night, that's breaking my heart because I know that that is not that's not sustainable.
No. No, you're just
So
not going to do it. And you know, whether it's a routine that gets you there, whether it's aids in your home that gets you there, whether it's memory care,
yeah,
skilled
yeah,
nursing that gets you there to that better sleep, just getting some sunlight on you, maybe getting some
yeah.
movement, uh,
Yeah, I
ideally a
really
healthy.
felt like that's when I had to love on myself the most. Like,
Mm,
okay, I've got to watch what I'm eating. Okay, I got to watch what I'm drinking. I wasn't touching anything wet but some water because for a minute I was like, give me my red wine,
yeah, right.
because it's
That's
like,
real.
girl, it's like I've had a day. But
Right. Oh
at
my
the end
word.
of the day, I was like, okay, well, I do want to be my best self in the morning. I want to be my best caregiver self. So again, being walking with the Lord, I'm like, look, if God told me to put it down a little bit, I'm gonna put it down. So that's what I did. And it allowed me to really hone in spiritually and just with like what I should be doing and what I should be focusing on. So yeah,
Absolutely.
community community is huge. I just want to tell people that again. So I'm glad everybody was able to join because hopefully this was like beneficial to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, and I love the fact that, you know, you shared, you know, some more real things that, because I feel like oftentimes what happens when we talk about thriving, surviving, or
Mhm.
self-care, things of that nature, you know, it gets like surface level where it's just like, you know, take some baths, like
No,
that type of stuff. It's like,
girl,
no, no, it's like, no, we start off with
self
like,
care
what is your, yeah, it's like, what is your plan for more help? Like, let's get to the real
for
of
real.
this. When you're on call 24/7, it's like, I mean, maybe some, you know what? Some people have still found themselves thriving in that 24-hour role, but man, that's a
Mhm.
rare person.
Yeah, good
Met very
for
few of those.
them. I want what they're having for sure.
Right?
But yeah,
Dude, I don't, yeah, and even then, that person who's thriving in the 24 hours, you bet your bottom dollar their partner, like their spouse, is kicking in a lot, or they have
oh
other family
yes,
members who are kicking in all the time. They
yes.
have some aides that
I couldn't have
they're
done
not
it
telling
without
you
my
about.
husband. Yes,
Exactly.
I said, girl, I couldn't have done it without my husband. And like if like he was like, I want to be a care partner for you, and girl, that was just like it was another level of love that was unlocked for that man because
Yeah.
I was still able to like go and do food videos and restaurant reviews, and he would be with my mommy, and I would come back and they're dancing, and she's like, "Hey, girl," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, she over here kikiing with my husband." It was hilarious, but it warmed my heart. And again, I was about to start crying when I saw that, but it's just like it's just like another level of gratitude. So yeah, I'm very grateful, to have a spouse that's willing to help, willing. So
Yeah. So yeah, so those yeah, so for those of us out here who are just like, I'm just doing it 100% just me and God, that's
mhm.
it.
Yeah,
uh just
it's
know
definitely,
it's not in your head that
yeah.
you're like, why am I struggling? Why can't I do this? It's like because you're not supposed to do it 100% by yourself. That's
Hmm.
just yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Real quick about like specific herbs or things like that again. Herbs are great, supplements are great. If it claims to be a magical cure, be skeptical. Like,
Yeah,
be
I think
skeptical.
I think that like that it definitely has its place in the discussion for sure, but I also know that it may not fix everybody's situation.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, and I know speaking of community, everybody, I was talking about this but right before you joined, but I'm offering a free workshop on Zoom September 17th through the 19th. So it's in the link in my bio if you don't want to join. We usually have hundreds and hundreds of caregivers who join. So if you're looking to meet a lot of caregivers real fast, learn some practical tips, definitely join that. Do you have anything coming up that you want folks to know about?
Um, so if you're in Chicago, we're having a Chicago red carpet party for my vegan TV show
Ooh,
called Kale Crew. So
ooh,
yeah, so if you're interested in attending, just join my mailing list, and I'm going to be sending out invitations to those that are on my mailing list. And that is at plantbasedtamika.com. And just like my username here, PLANT based Tamika, TAMIKA.com. Other than that, I'm just working on fall fashion for my boutique, and that is shopstandout.com. Everything's in my bio. And yeah, just staying busy. Like honestly, I feel like I just need to look at the few days that's in front of me, and outside of that, like
yeah,
I'm like, as long as I can get through these next few days, I'm good. So those are the things that are on the forefront of my mind.
awesome. Yeah, yeah, definitely. If you guys are caregivers in the Chicago area, eating a more plant-based diet is going to do nothing but help with how you feel. And yeah, I mean, if you're looking for some clothes, hey.
Yeah, yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? You might be.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And oh man, I love all your practical tips and just ah, thank you so much for joining us. I so
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much for having me. And thank you all for engaging. Like, I'm trying to look at everybody's messages and everything. And it's hard to keep up with. But, like, if you see me randomly smile, it's probably because you left a sweet message. So, thank y'all
Oh,
so much.
yeah. All right. Well, I know I guess we're a little bit ahead of
Girl,
time, but
yeah, we over, but it's
I think
okay. This was a great
yeah,
talk.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Thank
everybody, thank
you.
you so much for coming, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
Okay. Yeah, I hope so too.
All
All
right.
right.
All
Bye.
right. Bye, guys.
Bye.